the cat has some sort of like feline
sentience,
which they do.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna find out, when I get this cat. Folks, welcome to Werewolf Radar, the world's premier paranormal preparedness podcast. My name is Jordan Dahl.
I am Nate Baldwin.
I am Roger Norquist.
Today's episode of Werewolf Radar is brought to you by Monstroco brand Truth Cats. Cats that can speak one word. Is it the truth or is it a lie? Find out what secrets dwell within the minds of the Monstroco Truth Cat. The Truth Cat by Monstroco. What the fuck?
Well, and I mean, like, what if the truth that they understand is not the truth
as we know it? Yeah. See, the Monstroco Truth Cat is the key to the feline mind. We will understand them one way or another. Whether it's maybe it's something we didn't want to know. Maybe they are counting down to some grim cat future.
Cat takeover.
It's like in that
feline apocalypse. We're doing it.
It's like in that Sandman episode, The Dreams of a Thousand Cats or something.
Oh yeah.
I thought you were gonna say that episode of Futurama where the cats try and take over.
There's also that one.
Oh yeah. That was some late stage Futurama. Okay, well, folks, what do we have for them? What do we got?
We got paranormal stories.
Who wants the speaking skull?
I'll grab the speaking skull because I want to talk about something that I've been thinking about for way too long.
Okay.
UFOs and volcanoes.
Okay. UVOs. No. Yeah.
UVOs, indeed. Unidentified volcano
objects. Okay.
So this story, I pulled a number of things because I went into some diving in this. So recently, there was a UFO photo taken at the volcano by the name of Popocatépetl.
Whoa. You nailed it.
And this is from dailymail.co.uk.
They do good work.
And the headline is Aliens in Mexico? Couples photos of object appearing to be UFO over exploding volcano goes viral. You might have seen this if you're in the paranormal
circles.
Circles.
The sphere.
There it is. There is the volcano, and right above it, a mysterious object.
Kind of looks like the ship from Flight of the Navigator.
Yes.
Remember that show, movie, whatever?
So that was recently taken. It's been making the rounds mainly on Spanish TikTok, but it is slowly bleeding over to American TikTok.
Boy, TikTok really got in, huh?
And then British TikTok will do whatever they do with it. And then, of course, you got German TikTok that makes everything an art exhibit. So this couple, a Central Mexican couple who have taken up the hobby of photography, were snapping images of an active volcano when they were surprised by an object that appeared to be a UFO.
And can you hit us with the name of that volcano one more time?
Popocatépetl.
Popocatépetl.
But that's only one of many volcanoes, which many people have seen UFOs going in and out of, plus just kind of hovering around.
Okay. Now it would make sense to me. Honestly, my mind kind of started working as soon as you said volcanoes and UFOs. And I was like, why would they be hanging out around UFOs? Why would they be seeking out UFOs? And maybe it's as simple as they have like ships that are so advanced that they can run off of heat generated by the hull.
Could.
And so it's like you literally just need to fly by like near a star or this or that or the other thing, and for whatever reason they need to refuel on Earth. Well, why wouldn't they
massive
star? We got a great
uptick in like
star.
geothermal power.
Let alone maybe just the aliens going like what we do here on Earth. To be like, how I want to see what's inside that volcano as it explodes. I think it's just neat.
They just want to hang out there. I think
or the question, do your volcanoes work like our volcanoes? There's only one way to find out, and they fly it straight into the volcano. So Carla Garcia told dailymail.com that her boyfriend, Luis Guerrera, was up early Sunday morning at their home in Ataleco, Puebla, to prepare their backyard for a family breakfast when they were moved by a blast from the volcano.
Wait, so their backyard is adjacent to a volcano.
Is close enough that they were physically moved from a blast of the volcano. Yes.
I'm not going to say terrible place to live, but
Garcia recalled that her boyfriend took his cell phone out and immediately started taking pictures and video, zeroing in on the full moon to the left side of the cliff that spans across the state of Mexico.
Can you imagine for
Puebla
a second
and Morelos, a
realtor trying to show you an apartment as a volcano slowly smolders in the background? The house kind of rumbles every once in a while. Is that going to be a problem? Yeah, not for a couple of years.
So she shared the photo every 5 years, but you're only going to be here for one.
Listen, it is taken care of. We give an offering of 150 deep dish pizzas every year into the volcano.
So Carla Garcia shared the image on her Instagram and TikTok because her boyfriend does not care much for the social medias. His photos are for his memories.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And they kind of spurred other UFO sightings in that area. Let me share this for the YouTube. Always make sure to subscribe to that so you can see these strange lights in the distance.
Interesting.
There's some more right there.
First one again.
That's in the state of Hidalgo.
Looks a little bit like the lights on these kind of parking lot pylon lights.
It could be something easy. Same thing with this one down below.
That one's
Tijuana.
A little more difficult. Strange.
But Mexico's got some UFO stuff.
UFO stuff south of the border.
I have from 2021 in the same volcano, Popocatépetl.
Mm-hmm.
From journalnews.com. This happened in December 2021. Same thing. They saw a UFO fly around the vicinity of the volcano. The next one that I found was from Mexico News Daily, September 5th, 2020. And you might have seen this one. It's rather one of the more famous UFO volcano photos. This is the volcano El Popo.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And something's El Popoing out of it.
Or into it, actually. So there's that one that says...
A nice base of operations, perhaps?
A fact from that article from the Mexico News Daily is that Mexico ranks 7th in the world for the number of UFO sightings.
That seems low. I would think Mexico would be higher up.
Let's go take a look at it real quick. I'm going to
sizable country.
I'm going to MUFON. They normally have the UFO stats for the world.
Of volcanoes.
They do have a buttload of volcanoes. You're saying there's
true.
not enough UFOs for how many volcanoes they have.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right. I normally get an email about it, like ranking the whole world on UFO sightings.
Oh yeah, when it changes.
Yeah, and I can't find that or
update.
like the part on their website.
Oh, because MUFON has a terrible website.
Oh, it's an awful website. If you want to see the MUFON website and why not a lot of research gets done, it's because this is how
Good
it's
Lord,
operated.
that's awful.
The search database.
So bad.
I'm just trying to find stats.
I know Jason Cordova has some connections at MUFON. Tell him to update the internet or the website.
Internet, Jason.
No, the internet. I think update the entire thing.
He's gonna come back and be like, I actually did that website for you. Be like, oh
no.
God, it's wonderful. I love it.
Foot and mouth. MUFON
Foot
newsletter.
and mouth disease.
Our January MUFON newsletter.
Moose letter?
Yeah, the Moose letter.
Nice.
I can't find it anymore. How sad. I'll post it and share it if I can, because normally they do a MUFON like stats for a month or so.
I mean,
and it'll rank like how many UFOs have been seen in each country, and always it's USA first, then like Russia.
Yeah, I was gonna say we know what like the top 4 or 5 are for sure, and it's always US, Russia, China, which underreports, Brazil,
which overreports.
Yeah, I don't know. There might be truthful. They're the only truthful nation. But I think that's going to wrap up my segment on UFOs and volcanoes in Mexico.
Okay.
They're just popping in and out of volcanoes there.
I think they're refueling.
I
think they've got thermal refuel technology, and these are ships that for some reason need an emergency refuel on a planet with
because they can't land.
Right. On a planet with good geothermals, and that's us. Or
that could be
mole people.
I could see mole people, but I think I could also believe that UFOs have the ability to feed off thermal powers. We've seen many videos of UFOs and the sun doing some insane shit. Remember that one time a UFO was like feeding off of a solar flare?
Yeah. Thermal power. Anyway, I'm passing the skull on.
All right, I will pick it up and we'll go to a spooky thing.
Ooh, mine was spooky.
Well, yeah. Assuming that the aliens were
wearing Halloween masks.
Yours was scientific. Roger.
Okay, fair enough.
I was watching a thing that made me think, why aren't there more ghost nuns?
Where are you now?
Was it the awesome film The Nun?
Yeah, was it The Nun?
It was not The Nun.
Was it One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yeah, when I think about how many
Oh, damn it, that's
nuns,
a nurse. I'm such a stoner.
Nun Ratchet.
When I think about how many nuns there are, none, really.
Well, and like, they're very close to weird ghostly shit.
I know a tale of a ghost nun that I will add to the end of your segment, if that's okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So this is all pulled from an article, Ghost Nuns Who Will Have You Praying.
Well, apparently there's enough to make an article out of.
But out of how many nuns there are, once again, like there's not enough nun ghosts for how many nuns there are. Like in my segment, there's not enough UFOs for how many volcanoes Mexico have.
There's not enough.
Exactly.
There's not enough, Bigfoot sightings for how many big feet people claim to be out there. It's all what's getting reported. If you see 10 nuns walking down the street, 7 of them are ghosts.
So this first one is the story of the faceless nun of St. Mary of the Woods College from Terre Haute, Indiana. A faceless nun haunts the campus of St. Mary of the Woods College. I don't also know what Mary of the Woods, like that's all one long thing. Like
sounds like
the fuck is that saint?
Sounds like the name of a mushroom.
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Anyway, haunts that college in Terre Haute. Terre Haute.
I don't know.
I believe it's Terre Haute. According to legend, there was a nun who worked there with great skills in the painting of portraits. She believed the face was the most important part, so she always saved it for last.
Oh.
One day, she decided to start a self-portrait. Before she could start the face, she died of an unknown sickness.
Terrifying.
Since then, a faceless nun has been seen walking around Foley Hall and its courtyard.
Where's the painting?
I think she might be the painting.
Somebody has to finish that painting. This is such an easy one.
It does seem obvious from like a game perspective.
Did they get rid of the painting?
Well, here we go. One day, a sister heard crying coming from the room that held the unfinished portrait. They did not get rid of the painting.
I'm not gonna lie. You said that, I looked up and I saw the nun behind you, and I got even more scared. I hate this.
The sister went inside the room and found a nun crying in front of the painting. She approached the nun so to comfort her. The crying nun turned around, and instead of a face, there was only darkness.
An elbow. Oh.
That would be scary as well, though.
If there was just an elbow in the middle of a patch of skin.
Maybe some real Silent Hill 2 shit.
Mm-hmm.
This next one is The Nun with Roses from Würzburg, Germany. An abbey in Würzburg has a scandalous history. Maria Renata von Massau was a nun accused of mixing herbs into food so she could bewitch other nuns.
Uh-oh.
This just sounds like cooking to me.
Yeah, she was all like, if I put some sage in my dish, I'll bewitch these other nuns.
Yeah, they'll think it's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I got them.
Yeah. Have you tried Sister Sarah's lemon bars? I don't know what's going on there, but I tripped for 18 hours.
I mean, it seems like that's actually what was happening, because after the nuns exhibited odd behavior.
This isn't just nuns being surprised by like tarragon for the first time or something. What is this sorcery?
All it says is exhibiting odd behavior, which could just be surprise.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Or like tripping, like it could be like an ergot situation. Like even if she didn't what am I trying to say? If she didn't purposefully do it, she could have had some moldy whatever, and now we got herbs that can cause people to trip or something.
I mean, she lives in an abbey, and they're probably not doing the most well.
You know what they say about abbeys? Ergot central.
Also, I do enjoy that. For all the Abrahamic religions, you got the Jewish faith that has rules on cooking to make sure it's nice and safe. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Islam. And then Christians are all like, fuck it, eat the raw fish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I do love sushi.
To you. Love that sushi. Ugh.
But not the Christian way of doing it, where you set it out for 2 weeks and eat the rotten flesh.
Mm.
Yeah, you don't really want that like old
Nudifis?
Finnish shark.
Old Finnish shark.
Yeah, so the Scandinavian people have a dish that is fermented fish to where you leave it buried for about 2 weeks or so, and then it does its stuff and you can eat it.
Yeah, longer than you should be doing anything with any food.
It's actually illegal to have one of those shark pickling shacks within like 10 miles of a town or something because of the stink. That's awesome. Real. That's yeah.
Another thing that's real.
Sea crimes.
Maria Renata was caught and sentenced in court. Like, I don't know if they had to go far to catch her, but they did. Then she was decapitated and burned to ashes, which were then scattered.
Mumbo jumbo.
Anyway, to
Bit
this
much
day,
in it.
For just mixing some herbs into food.
Yeah, wow.
The ghost of a nun believed to be Maria has been seen walking down the halls ever since. She apparently picks petals off of a bouquet of roses
and
leaves
sweet.
that trail behind her.
Whoever follows the trail
gets a nice meal.
What are you thinking? When I'm thinking of Werewolf Radar Vacation?
Let's follow the trail. Okay.
And let's follow it into this next one.
Yes.
The Headless Nun of French Court Cove.
Okay. Well, okay. She was painting a picture. She liked to do the head last. I've heard this one before.
In the 18th century, a nun named Sister Marie Inconnue was beheaded. Inconnue is apparently French for unknown, and I'm definitely saying that wrong. Inconnue. There are two legends behind this. One, a quote, mad trapper cut off her head and ran into the woods, or two sailors decapitated her when she refused to give the location of buried treasure.
We know you've got your nun's treasure somewhere nearby.
First of all,
nuns, secret.
Nuns don't snitch. Much respect.
I'll never give you the heaps of golden coins and that bowl with a cross on it that we keep.
Well, what did the mad trapper want? Like, he thought she looked like a squirrel or something?
I thought she was a penguin. I thought she was penguin.
The head was never found, and now she walks around looking for it.
Mumbo.
The ghost has even asked late night visitors for help finding her head.
Can I have your head?
I hope that doesn't happen to me. I want to become a ghost in such a way that I'm not endlessly searching for something. I want to do other things with my afterlife, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I thought you meant that you hope you don't get asked by a ghost to help find their head.
I mean, no, on that.
Yeah.
Yes to that, no to the other thing.
Yes, yeah. Honestly, I would help a ghost try to find their head, but I feel like it would be the type of thing where I wouldn't be good at it at first. And I'd be like, I'm sorry, I'm not seeing anything. And then I'd turn around and the ghost would be completely missing. And I'd be like, damn, I failed the ghost's test.
You just got to return next year.
So I guess we'd have to figure out whether it was the sailors or the trapper who done did it.
Right. Then we'd have to track sailors and trappers.
Yeah. And I got to say, trapper, looking at you.
I'm looking at the sailors. I don't trust them.
Okay.
But there's so many sailors to ask.
You heard it here, folks. Roger Norquist, anti-sailor.
Also in the bunker, I put ways to prepare shark meat.
I saw that.
Boil it, bake it, stick it in a stew.
Here's one. The Nun of St. Anne's, aka Pine Glen Cove, which is in Utah.
I never would have guessed that from all of the things you just said.
Yep.
Pine Glen Cove sounds so Scottish.
The property is located deep in the Cache National Forest in Logan Canyon. The site was a private retreat for rich businessmen, apparently, from 1910 to the 1950s. And then it was donated to the Roman Catholic Diocese.
Oh.
Who later used it as a summer camp for children. And then eventually also turned that over to private ownership.
Okay.
The property is dripping with folklore and is a popular destination for legend trippers. One of the legends is, of course, a pregnant nun secretly giving birth on the property and then drowning her newborn in the property's pool.
Ooh, I've seen it 1,000 times.
Distraught with what she did, she ended her own life.
Yikes.
Visitors say you can see the nun looking down into the pool. They even may have caught her image on an episode of Ghost Adventures.
Whoa, Zach Baggins coming through.
All right, I'm going to look it up.
Look it up.
Other paranormal activity on the property includes hellhounds.
Oh, those hellhounds.
Along with rumors of satanic worship. So here's I think a first person thing. 3 security guards were hired to watch the private property, which was a popular destination for those hoping to get a scare. A bunch of teenagers showed up, confronted by the 3 security guards with loaded guns and knives.
Ugh, teens.
The guards tied up 2 groups of the teenagers, one in the empty pool and another group in a cabin. The teens were verbally harassed.
Just taking a weird turn.
And sexually harassed for 3 hours.
Fucking
until
hell.
Cops arrived, who were called by security guards.
Jesus.
The group in the cabin was tied together by their necks and told that any sudden movement would set off explosives.
What?
And all 3 security guards pled guilty. It was through a plea bargain. It doesn't say what it was that they eventually.
Of course they did. Boys in blue, right?
Went to jail for.
Disgusting. Wow, that's awful. Crazy. Because they were trying to catch the nun.
I think that they were just fucking weirdos.
Idiots? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I did find some footage of that ghost if you want to see it.
Absolutely.
From Zach Baggins.
More than I want to see a picture of my own child from the future.
From Zach Baggins. Let me do this again to where. Yep.
ZB. If I don't have
Sound
to hear
was
what he
being
says, I like what he does.
Let's turn off the sound. Empty room becoming extremely hot.
Weird.
That's it.
That's it? That's it?
I'm sorry.
All right, Zach Baggins.
I was misled
once again.
First by you, then by Zach Baggins. You twerp, Zach Baggins. I'm taking it all back. Get a fucking haircut, you dummy. Let's see a prescription for those glasses. Why are they tinted yellow? What are you selling, ecstasy? What are you, Bono? Sorry.
Bono's just out here selling ecstasy with BJ Novak.
Bono looks like he should be selling ecstasy in a parking lot of Warped Tour. I just want to sing me song. Sorry. I'm done going after Bono.
So this next one is The Bleeding Nun of Wymering Manor.
Whoa.
In Portsmouth, England.
Now, is it like a nun that's bleeding, or is this like a funny colloquial British the bleeding nun is back?
A Call me little column B.
All right.
The Weimering Manor dates back to 1042, with King Edward the Confessor as the first recorded owner, though the current structure dates back to the 16th century. So apparently it was broken down and remade at some point.
Still, good manor.
It's no surprise that a house with so much history is filled with so many ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
There have been reports of a ghost nun on top of the staircase near the attic bedroom. She stares down the staircase, hands dripping with blood.
Ew.
How to get that way? I want to know.
Maybe she's like maybe. Jeez. Who knows?
One occupant of the house, a Mr. Leonard Metcalf, reported occasionally singing a choir of nuns walking across the manor's hall at midnight and chatting. Now, I did not realize that we called a bunch of nuns a choir.
A choir. Neither did I. I love it.
I thought it was a murderer.
No, you're thinking of priests.
Yes. A murder of priests.
A murder of priests, a choir of nuns.
A fondle of priests. Sorry. Not funny.
So there's also this thing about haunted railroad tracks in San Antonio.
That has nothing to do with nuns. We came here for none.
It literally doesn't. And I think we've actually maybe talked about this before. There's various legends around it. It's one of those places where you can stop on the railroad and you see kids' hands.
Okay.
But this story, or this version of this story, in the 1930s and 40s, a nun was driving a school bus of sleeping children after a school trip.
Oh, I've heard
started
this.
on the railroad tracks, got hit by a train, killed everybody except the nun who flew through the windshield.
She could fly?
And yeah, she's one of those ones.
Wow.
The flying nun.
And then returned to the scene because she was so full of guilt about accidentally killing all those kids.
Yeah.
She drove her own car onto the tracks, waiting for a train.
Oh, wow. Fucking drinking whiskey, just listening to fucking Def Leppard, full blast.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I guess it's the 40s, so.
Oh, okay. So I guess the leopard could still hear then.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry. I'm an uncle. I'm somebody's uncle.
But before the train can hit the car, an invisible force, presumably all of those children, actually pushed her off the tracks.
They save. They rescue.
Yeah.
They said, no death for you.
No, we don't blame you, Mother Houlihan.
Yeah, that
Mama O'Houlihan.
Unnamed in this story. That is
Sister Inferior.
Yeah, well.
I don't feel great about it, but it's okay.
I like it.
Yeah.
She blew it for sure.
Yeah.
She crashed a bus into a train.
She was drinking whiskey and listening to Def Leppard.
And theoretically, she ended up opening a school for orphans.
Oh, wow. A school for bus-killed children. Sorry.
I mean, if you do something bad, at least
you open a
try
school
to fix
for
it. I think she has earned her redemption.
I agree. Let people change.
But yeah, I mean, that's definitely... we've heard stories about those same exact tracks.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Pretty crazy.
And she's the reason.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any more terror nuns for us? Nun terror.
I do, but I think they're all too long.
Yeah, give us one more. Fuck it.
Well,
People love it.
The famous ghost nun of Borley Rectory in Essex.
Oh.
The Borley Rectory was the most haunted house in England. It was demolished in 1944.
Until
it was the subject of a very famous Harry Price investigation.
Harry Potter book.
Harry Potter and the Haunted House.
It was constructed in 1862 by Reverend Henry Dawson Ellis Bull near the Borley Church.
Nice.
Location was the site of a previous rectory that had been burned down. So the property already had a ghost nun, which locals saw walking the grounds. The legend says that a nun and a monk fell in love and were planning to marry.
Ew.
They were caught and executed.
Whoa.
The monk was beheaded, and the nun was buried alive in the cellar walls.
Christianity, everybody.
The Bull family witnessed a phantom nun walking the grounds on several occasions. Henry even went to talk to the nun, but she disappeared. They also reported a phantom carriage driven by two headless horsemen.
Okay, well, where did they come from?
Yeah, what's their story?
Are they just hanging out with the monk who was decapitated? It's like that's the crew that he hangs with now.
I think it's like sympathetic decapitation.
Friends. Yeah. This is Marty and Barrel. That's their names. It's like Daryl, but with a B.
The Bull family left and the rectory sat vacant until October of 1928. Reverend Guy Eric Smith and his wife moved in, and the paranormal activity started soon after. Smith's wives reported finding a woman's skull in a cupboard.
They also reported
They reported bells ringing, phantom lights, phantom carriages, and unexplained footsteps.
Oh.
The Smiths got the Daily Mirror and Society for Psychical Research involved, and this is where Harry Price came into the very spooky picture.
Okay.
In 1929, the Smith family left, and Reverend Lionel Algernon Foister. There's so many stupid names.
It's a real prerequisite for getting into the field, it seems.
Where would you keep your skull?
In a lady's head, preferably.
No. Lady's been dead. You can't bring her back to life. This is just a skull that you have. Where are you putting it?
Freezer.
I was going to say washing machine.
Okay.
Mantle for me.
Bouncing around.
Mantle's very good. Where's the funniest place to put it? Maybe like back in a closet. So now then only you would see it.
In the bathroom on the toilet so it watches you pee.
Yeah, no, okay. Right across from the toilet.
You tie it to a dog's head.
Okay. But then the dog's got to be involved. If the dog doesn't want to, if the dog's not getting paid, at least SAG. I'm out.
Oh, the dog's getting paid.
Okay. Listen, the dog's getting paid. We're professionals. Okay, carry on.
What was that? In 29, Lionel Algernon Foister and his wife Marianne moved in, along with their daughter Adelaide. The Foister family reported frightful activities just as the families before them. Bells ringing, rocks thrown by disembodied hands, windows breaking, and vanishing household items. This sounds very Lindley.
Doesn't it? That was my first thought.
Could you imagine seeing a ghost for the first time? This ghost hand manifests and it blows your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then it tosses a rock at you.
Ow! What the fuck? Just right in the forehead. Rude.
Adelaide was also attacked on another occasion. Marianne also reported being thrown from her bed, slapped, and almost suffocated by an unseen presence.
Good Lord.
And mysterious writing also appeared on the walls.
This is like a fucking Sam Raimi movie. Just getting thrown around, pushed up the walls.
Well, and I don't know if I can do a screen share.
I thought you were going to be like, I don't know if I can do a Sam.
You can
Raimi
send
impression.
the link in the chat and I can do it for sure.
All right. Well,
we got to see it. We got to see the visuals.
And if you want to see the visuals, subscribe to our YouTube. We're almost to 1,000 subscribers.
Nice plug.
And that's going to be like, I don't know, almost all the way down the article.
We'll get to 1 million subscribers once we release our secret evidence we have for Lizard Man.
Yes.
Lizard Man.
I've reached the bottom, Nate.
We've got his tail.
Go up more.
There's the ghost skull, Nun.
Ah! Where? Is it on me? I feel like it's on.
Writing on the wall.
Ah, scary.
The penciled wall appeals to Marianne. The block letters in bottom specimen were written by Mrs. Foister and Care Parse, respectively.
Cannot understand. Tell me more.
I think I see Marianne.
Yeah. I think
Please help get
Marmanan.
Light mass prayers.
Huh.
Hello?
Please tell me more. Scary. Scary and strange.
What would you do? Writing on the wall.
First thing I would do
is that it said Marianne or your name.
I would check for a carbon monoxide leak because I know sometimes people experience lost periods of the day and they do shit that's crazy and almost like try to like leave notes for themselves to like remember stuff.
Like get help, get the carbon monoxide detector.
Yeah, exactly. And if that was the all clear, then I'd like to say that I wouldn't try to communicate with it, but I mean, it seems to be able to communicate. So I mean, you know, am I a paranormal investigator or what?
Well, I mean, that's exactly what Harry Price did indeed. He believed the writing on the wall was written by a Catholic woman, most likely the nun. In 1935, the Foister family moved out, and Harry Price moved in to start researching. Another early Zach Baggins.
Yeah, he's got some balls on him. Let's get a movie about this guy. Inventor of the first faux hawk.
So he recruited some local students and observers to help with the research. They began to uncover the nun's backstory.
What year was this?
This is 1935.
Oh, God. Can you imagine those students and observers? Just a real fucking Archie Comics gang of fucking miscreants. A guy wearing an old leather football helmet, probably. President Taft? What are you doing here?
I was going to try and do an accent of him, but I forgot how President Taft sounded.
He has a mustache.
Oh, okay.
There it is.
That's him going, I'm President Taft.
Yeah, I got it.
He's half man, half walrus.
Yes, exactly. He's a walrusman.
During a sitting with a planchette, an alleged spirit named Marie Lair related that she had been a nun in France, but had left her convent to marry Henry Waldegrave, a member of a wealthy family whose manor home once stood on the site of Borley Rectory.
Who had that, quote, good dick.
Better than God's. There, her husband had strangled her and had buried her remains in the cellar.
Whoa, should have stuck with God.
5 months later, another spirit said the house would burn down that night, revealing proof that the nun was murdered.
Oily, maloily.
The house did not burn down that night.
Oh.
But 11 months later,
nice whiff,
it did
stupid.
burn down when an oil lamp was knocked over.
I'm sorry. Maybe the ghost is 11 months ahead of us. Maybe that's like dog years, but for ghosts.
Ooh, there's a perception, a time dilation.
Time dilation is exactly what I would call it.
Harry Price investigated the cellar and did find bones.
Oh, wow. It all came true. Just like the dead nun promised.
Well, or he just had bones.
And he was like, look, they're here.
He was like, yeah, hey, check it out.
Yeah, I imagine it wouldn't be too hard to come across bones back then.
Bones were easier to get. You could buy them from shady grave keepers.
Anyway, she was given a proper burial in the village of Liston, just a few miles away.
Wow.
And that's the end of the Borley Rectory haunting.
Pretty spooky, y'all. Well, if I may, I would ask you to release your grip on these nuns, let them rest once more, and pass me the spooking skull.
Pass the speaking skull. Pass the speaking skull.
It's the spooking skull. Oh, yikes. Oh, God, it is extra spooky this time. I would like to talk to y'all about this thing that my brother brought to my attention. Once again, shout out, brother shout out.
Brother Doll.
Don't know how much he wants me to share his first name. So let's say his name is Fudge Trungington.
It's a good family first name.
It goes back for decades in the Trungington line. Of course, my name being Jordan Trungington.
I thought you were going to say your name was Super Fudge.
I'm Super Fudge. Yes, that's better. We were talking about a thing. He's been getting into the Mr. Ballin videos and like Time Suck. Do you ever listen to Time Suck? That's another podcast. Don't go listen to them. Listen to us twice instead. But he basically he found this interesting story about a group of hikers, Russian hikers, not the Dyatlov Pass incident, but another really strange hiking incident that happens in Russia. It's really weird.
Same mountain range or vicinity?
I'm not really sure, but
fair enough.
We shall read on and find out, dear listener.
There's 9 time zones in that country.
There's 6 mountain ranges, so fair enough.
Yeah. So this is from an article by Thought Catalog. It is titled "The Group of Russian Hikers Who Started Bleeding from Their Eyes."
Oh, what? Okay.
Yeah.
It sounds so casual.
Yeah. So it says, I cannot think of Russia without thinking about the Dyatlov Pass incident. Can anybody give us a little recap of the Dyatlov Pass incident?
9 or so experienced mountaineers went to the Dyatlov Pass area to do, I think, a week-long expedition.
To mountaineer.
Essentially, some mountaineering. Essentially,
find the mountain's ears. Sorry, go ahead.
They spend a brutal cold night in which in the morning tents are smashed, bodies are trampled
Clothes
over.
Are off. Their tongues are taken out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some people walked distance away from the tent naked.
Yeah.
Supposedly radioactive
shit what I'm went trying to down.
Say. Yeah, radioactive material was found, or at least they were able to measure radioactivity in the area and on the clothes.
Yeah. Geiger counter was going to hit some number walking up Dyatlov Pass.
There's lots of explanations. The Mansi people of that area call it the Valley of Death because they know many tales of the same stuff. Okay,
well, here might be part of the reason why. So it goes on to say, decades later, the Dyatlov Pass incident happened in 1959. Basically, these hikers went up, they got caught in a blizzard, and a bunch of strange shit happened, resulting in several deaths that, under mysterious circumstances, shouldn't have happened. This says, decades later, in 1993, a group of 7 Russian hikers led by, quote, master hiker survivalist Ludmila Korovina set off on a trip into the Kamar-Daban mountain range. Like the Dyatlov group, unforeseen poor weather conditions forced the group to set up camp in an exposed area. The next morning, the group made a fire and ate breakfast before setting off with plans to meet group leader Korovina's daughter, Natalia, who was leading another group of hikers in the area. They never showed up.
Man, is there ever a time to trust a quote unquote master hiker? I feel like that's the same thing that happened with like the Donner group.
Yeah.
2 French guys were like, yeah, we can totally get you to the pass.
If somebody tells you they're a master hiker, ask to see the documentation. Ask to see the badge. And if the badge is made of a rock that they wrote master on, then it's real. That's a real hiker.
That's someone you can trust.
Yeah. Korovina's group was made up of Ludmila Korovina, 41 years old, the leader. Alexander Sasha Krisin, 23, the cute one. Tatiana Filipenko, 24, the scientist. Denise Shvakin, 19, the magic user. I'm making all these titles up. So we've got Ludmila, the leader, Alexander, Tatiana, Denis, Valentina, who people called Valia Utachenko, Victoria Zalisova, 16, Timur Bapanov, 15. So these kids were like young. The oldest of the hikers were like 23 and 24, and the youngest was 15. So 6 days later, a group of kayakers spotted a girl covered in blood. It was Valentina Utachenko, who was 17, who had been part of Korovina's hiking group. She was so traumatized that it took years for her to be able to tell police what had happened. This is what she had to say.
God damn, okay.
Just minutes after the group set out that day, the hiker at the back of the line, Alexander, who people called Sasha Krisin, started screaming. He was bleeding from his eyes and ears and frothing at the mouth. Sasha seized and died right there at the beginning of the trail. Korovina, who was closest to Sasha and viewed him like a son, stayed with him and told the group to keep going, but soon Korovina exhibited the same gruesome symptoms and collapsed. Tatiana Filipenko was the first hiker to run back and see why Korovina had begun screaming. Tatiana herself then started showing symptoms, and the group watched in horror as she, quote, slowly crawled over to a nearby rock and bashed her head against it until she went limp.
Oh!
Yeah. It was pandemonium for the 4 surviving members.
Very Dyatlov Pass, like, energy, like similar mysterious things to where, like, if there weren't witnesses, what happened here, but we're hearing about it.
Yeah.
Like, is it crazy mutant rabies?
Is it like The Happening or Bird Box?
Who knows?
Oh boy, I don't want
Victoria...
to revisit either one of those movies.
Yeah.
I like them.
Victoria and Timur took off. Dennis hid, and Valia remained frozen in place. Valia witnessed the other 3 hikers die in the same mysterious way, clutching their throats and convulsing while bleeding from the eyes and ears. She ran as far as she could that day and slept in the tent she'd been carrying. The next day, Valia forced herself to return to the site so that she could gather more supplies in order to survive long enough to make it to safety. 4 days later, she met the kayaking group and was rescued. Autopsies showed that the group members died of hypothermia, except for the group leader, Ludmila Korovina, who had died of a heart attack. The pathologist also noted that each of the hikers had bruised lungs and protein deficiencies. Huh.
It seems very biological, like something like they inhaled something.
Well, that brings us right into theories about what happened, ranging
right
from aliens to Russian military experiments. It almost seems like it could be some kind of like sonar weapon or something.
Ooh, I could see that.
The way Valia described the group members dying
syndromes.
Did yes.
Similar to what would happen. The way Valia described the group members dying is similar to what would happen if someone was exposed to a chemical weapon like nerve gas. It's also possible that Valia's eyewitness account of what happened is inaccurate, as trauma impacts the ability to understand and remember what is happening around you. Another theory is that the group drank water with toxic waste in it or ate poisonous mushrooms by mistake. Were they all eating mushrooms? Where's that part?
Why would you be bleeding from your eyes?
Also, why would you
poison
strange mushrooms?
You think they're different mushrooms and you're a master hiker and you're trying to flex because there's a cutie in your group.
You're trying to flex
or something, and you're like, you make sure you eat the right mushrooms. And this time they picked the bad mushroom.
Yeah. The Korovina group and the Dyatlov group were hiking in different areas of Russia. So there you go, Roger.
Thank you.
The largest country in the world that makes up 11% of the world's total landmass. Don't think the two groups are connected. I do, however, wonder how many paradoxical cases of mysterious mass hiker death is common for one country to have. Very funny thought.
Well, with 11% of the landmass, I think you're up there.
Yeah. Well done.
I mean, this was written by volume will get you percentage.
This was written by Chrissy Stockton in
December
7th, 2021 on Thought Catalog. So there you have it. That is the Korovina group and what happened to them. And it's fucking pretty strange. Like we said, maybe some kind of weird weapon, maybe some kind of gas, maybe who even knows? That one girl survived though. And she survived by kind of just staying still.
Yeah, they didn't
she did run away.
One of the guys just ran.
And he got it.
And is now
okay, fair.
Either dead or missing.
He got it. No, he got it. They all died.
I thought she ran too, but no, she stood still.
She stood still, and then she ran, and she camped for the night, and then she went. She didn't go over to like help anybody. But then other people also kind of bailed, and no shade. It's wild out there.
Yeah.
You see one of your friends bashing their head to death on a rock nearby.
It's okay.
I'm gonna run.
You bail.
I'm with you.
You go ahead and bail.
Something's up.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. That is my my corner that I'm calling the Korovina corner. And I'm going to put the speaking skull back into the freezer. And that does it for another episode of Werewolf Radar. Thank you so much for listening to the things that we do here. Thank you for your continued support of the things we do here. Thank you for giving us 5 stars on Spotify, iTunes, all of that shit. We would really appreciate it if you would do that, because it helps people find the podcast. And then you get super cool people coming and hanging out in the Zoom room, like Janet Bravo, like Cheesebot of Doom was here.
Paranoid Cryptid.
Paranoid Cryptid was here for a second. You too can come and hang out with us. If you are a Patreon member, you can kick it in the Zoom room. You can interact with the pod as we're doing it. We record on Sundays. And if you would like to be a part of that, you can go to patreon.com/werewolf radar, and you can sign up for all kinds of benefits, an additional podcast every week, some merch, some freaking short fiction. There's so much out there for you. If you like what we do on Twitter, on Instagram, you can see too. It just felt like I felt the rhyme taking over me. You know what I mean?
Well, you could be possessed too.
Well, I'm not smoking multiple cigars every day, which seems to be one of the
big symptoms of
symptoms. Shout out to Chuck from Snappy Little Numbers for our intro and outro song. Come check us out on Mondays at twitch.tv/werewolf_radar, where we play games at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. If you're into Twitch, you can catch us there. doing more of what it is that we do, playing D&D, playing Warhammer stuff sometimes. What is it? What's it called?
Warhammer 40K, the Dark Tide.
The Dark Tide. That's it. That's the Dark Tide.
My brother can't play it. He said the game told him his CPU is too weak.
You hate to see it, folks.
Indeed.
Is your CPU too weak? Find out Monday on our Twitch channel. Thank you guys so much for listening. Until next time, we love you. Our sign-off line on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Punch
the sky. Spaceman Joe. Get him, Joe.
Punch it.
Punch it, Joe.
Beat that sky up.